Alright gang, today we're going to be disassembling and assembling the SKS. This is the Chinese SKS Type 56. Let's get to it. Alright, first let's do the safety check. Make sure the rifle is empty. Open up the chamber. It's empty. Open up the mags. Mag is empty. There's nothing in there. Do the check. Everything's good. Alright, next we're going to start with the dust cover. To take the dust cover off, you just gotta flip this lever up like this and wiggle it outside. And then push this thing a little bit, it will come all the way out. There's a little bit of tension right there. Then you take the dust cover out like this, and then take the spring out. Looks like this. Remember, the curly end always goes inside first. If you see anyone take down their SKS and the curly one is like this, get away from that guy. You're not that guy. Alright, next we're going to take out the bolt and the bolt carrier. So point of reference, your rifle is pointing that way just so you know where everything is. So when you push it back like this, it comes apart, and you take it apart like this. So it looks like this. So again, point of reference, rifle's facing that way, pointing that way. This is the front of the bolt, and this is the rear. So this is what it looks like. So keep that in mind as you're putting things down on your mat. It essentially hangs like this right here, right? So it moves back and forth like that. We're gonna take this apart, so pay attention to that later on. All right, next we're gonna take this gas tube right here, this thing right here. All we're gonna do is you can take a punch. You wanna look like a badass, you could use the ammo too, the 7.62x39 ammo. What you're gonna do, there's this hole right here, and you can just lift it up, right, like this. So as you can see, this thing sits right in this hole right here, and this is the path it travels. Now what's very important to note, you're gonna push it up, but you're not gonna go anything past that. That's where you're gonna stop. Right here, that's it. That's all you're gonna stop for this. And then the gas tube should come out. See that? After that, there's a piston inside the gas tube, which you take out, which is right here. Now with the gas tube, you can take this down even further. You can see right here, it has those pin that needs to be pushed out. I'm not gonna mess with this because I wanna keep it the way it is. However, for this video purpose, I just wanna show you, this is an extra gas tube that I just got. And the way it comes out is that pin is really hard to get out. So I took this pin sits right here, and basically it comes out like this, and then you can remove it like that. You get the idea, right? It comes out. You don't need to do this for general cleaning, but some of you may want to change the stock and you need to do this. For example, I have this SKS Fab Defense stock that I want to put on. Eventually, I don't want to mess with the original gas tube. That's why I got an extra one that I'm going to be messing with, which is going to be used. Okay, next there's a piston inside here, right? This guy right here, it needs to come out. And to do that, I need to push this lever 90 degrees, but be careful, this is very spring loaded. It can shoot out. You could put a rag in here to prevent that, but I'm just going to go like this, and there you go. That's the spring at the piston right here. Okay. All right, next there's a cleaning rod right here that I'm going to be taking out. So to do that, put your bayonet 90 degrees, and this should come out like this. That's it. Done. All right, next we're going to take apart the trigger group. To do that, you need to get a punch again, or again, if you want to look like a badass, get that 7.62x39 ammo. And what you want to do, there is this thing right here that you need to push down. The best angle is like this way, and it will pop right out. So it just literally like this. There you go. And it will come right apart. Now at this point, your mag should come out like this. At this point, you should be able to separate the barrel from the stock. To do that, again, if you have a bayonet or the bipod, just make it 90 degrees so it doesn't get stuck with the stock. And then just wiggle this guy, and it should come right out. So some of them might be a little stiff, and some of them just pops right out. So there you go, right here. So as you can see, this is the stock. This is what it looks like. This is the barrel right here. Generally, this is all you need to do a simple cleaning on your SKS. But I'm going to go a step further and actually take this bolt apart for you guys, because some of you may be getting this brand new and it might be covered up in cosmeline, and it's also a good idea to actually clean this once in a while.
This firing pin here,
this is the part that when it's covered in cosmeline, it's supposed to move freely like this, and it doesn't, that's a safety issue. That's why you need to take this apart and actually give it a good clean. So again, rear, front, and what we're gonna do is there's this pin right here that we need to push it up. All right, to push this pin out is a very simple process. And to demonstrate that, I'm gonna show you simple. You just need 2 blocks like this, put it like this, get your punch and just gently tap. It should be coming out like this right here, as you can see, right? And it is out. This is what it looks like. Again, remember, this is the front facing that way. My rifle is still facing this way. This is the rear. All right, once the pin is out, you need to get this extractor out. So to do that, again, this is spring loaded, so you gotta be careful. So as you push it in, it comes out like this. Now this can fire out, so be careful, right? The next part is you're gonna take the bolt pin out. To do this, when you take this pin out, something to note, this is the top, rear, it's facing that way, right here. That's the front of the barrel. As you're taking it apart, you'll see there's a little bit of notch right here. That notch, keep a note of that, because when you put it back, it's gonna go the same way. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna have that pin that you took out earlier, this guy right here, is actually gonna actually lost the pin in, right? So that's where that goes. So keep a note of that. So you take this pin out and that's it. That is the full assembly of the bolt, and you just make sure you clean everything inside out and get all that cosmoline and gunk and all that crap. All right, now it's time to put everything back together. Let's get it. So first thing, again, remember the extractor you took out. So what you're gonna do, you see this right here, little lip, it's gonna catch on to this. So you're just gonna put this in right here like this. See this? So you're gonna push it in because it's spring loaded like that right here. So extractor is in, that's good. Next, you're gonna put the pin in. Again, remember this is the top, the rear. This is the front of the bolt, so that's facing that way. So we're gonna take our pin. Again, so point of reference, top, rear, this is the front of the bolt, facing the barrel, facing that way, the front. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna, from a top view, see the notch, I'm gonna put it like this, push it in. And next thing, I need to put the pin back in, which is right here. So for the pin, the way it sits is like this. Goes in like that, and you just push it in. It's starting to get in there. One thing to note as you're putting it in, so one side is straight, one side is curved. So obviously the curved side goes on this end, and the straight side goes this way. All right, it's in there. That's good. See, now we're good to go. So bolt is good. All right, now it's time to put the barrel back in the stock. But before I do that, I want to show a couple things. So as a point of reference, again, our barrel is facing that way, right? This is the top of the barrel. And if you flip over in the bottom, there's 2 things I want to point out. There's this notch right here. So you see this is your mags, essentially, like it's gonna go like this. That's how it's gonna hook on, right? Because you kind of go blind and you don't know what the heck you're trying to put it into. This is this right here. So again, to show, this is how it looks like, right? It's gonna go like this, right here. So that's where you're trying to catch on to. Number 2, your trigger group. Again, barrel facing that way. You see this little pins right here. It's gonna catch on to this right here, and that's gonna sit. So again, rather than going in blind, at least you know what the heck you're looking at, right? So it's gonna catch on to this little notch right here, and it's gonna sit like this. All right, let's get to it. Again, what we're gonna do is, if you have a bayonet or bipod on it, take that apart, make it 90 degrees, and just all you gotta do is just make it sit. It should just sit nicely. Depending on your SKS, some are stiff, some are loose. It all depends. And it just should sit right in. If it doesn't sit, don't be scared to give it a little smack. They can handle it. It's not a big deal. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put the cleaning rod back in there. And this is important. So you wanna push this in here, right? It's good to go. Lock this baby in. All right, next I'm gonna take the piston and the piston spring, put that thing back in there. And to do that, as I'm pushing it in, it's all the way in. So this piston is gonna go inside this hole right here, like this. But when I push it all the way in, I gotta move this lever right here, lock it in right here. So it will lock that thing in and stop right there. It's important to stop right there. So what I'm gonna do, push it all the way in and bring it back, and it's locked in, right? This is good. It's in there, as you can see. It's in there. And leave that there. All right, next I'm gonna take the piston that was inside the gas tube, push it back in here, like this. And then put the tube back in here, like this. And push it back in, like this. And it's in. After this thing is sit in there, then I'm gonna push this back in here and lock it in like this. So make sure your lever is sitting right at this notch right here. This thing is in, so we're good. All right, so next we're gonna put the mag back in. To do that, again, I'm gonna flip this guy. So make it sit on a block or whatever makes it easy. So just in case you don't wanna damage your rear sight. And then like this, and then remember what we talked about. That thing's gonna sit, it's gonna catch onto that little notch that we discussed earlier. Push it in, and it's in. This thing that is in. Next, you're gonna put the trigger groove back in. All right, so then you remember that what we talked about earlier. See this thing? It's gotta sit in that U-cut shaped notch. So I'm gonna push this in like this, like that. And then you just gotta, I like to push it this way and just get the click, and that's it. So trigger group is good, mag's good. All right, next we're gonna put the bolt group back in. So open the mags up for that one. And once you do that, again, remember, rifle's pointing that way. So my bolt group looks like this, right? So this will be the top, like that. All right, this is the rear. It's gonna go in like this. Something to note, you see this groove right here on the top? It's gonna run along this, and that's what I'm trying to line it up with, right? And it goes just like that. After you're done with that, again, come back to the spring. Remember, the curly goes in first. Again, if you see anyone do it like this, get away from that guy. All right, so I'm gonna push this in like this. Now I'm gonna put the dust cover back on. Take this lever, push it in like this, and then put it back. Now it's time to do a function check. Make sure everything works. Bolt catches, open the mag, release, the safety's on, and that is how you take apart SKS and put it back on. Now stay tuned, and there's more videos to come. I'm gonna bubble this thing, so I'm gonna put this stock on, so keep an eye out for that video. Thanks for watching.